At www.spreaker.com, create your own radio show and find thousands of exclusive radio channels.
It's showtime, and you're listening to Florida Real Estate Radio, where you'll hear about what's relevant and where to find opportunities and solutions in Florida real estate. Right now, live in studio, here's your host, Brian Heckman.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in today to Florida Real Estate Radio. So happy you're here. And you know what? We've got some awesome information. Here's why. You know, have you noticed sometimes statistics can lie? But you know what? Facts are black and white, and they don't always lie. So what we did is we've got a guest here with us today, Lagueux, who's a veteran real estate agent with Future Home Realty. You notice we really only want to bring in some agents here to share information that are veterans and that know what they're doing. So we are so pumped that we got Lee to come in here and spend some time with us as a guest. She is going to share some information on Florida's inventory in general. She's got some great market data and just pure numbers, black and white for you. And then also just talk a little bit about the whole seller's market here. So Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. It's great to be here.
Excellent. Well, we're so honored to have you. Why don't we do this? Why don't we start by briefly sharing your story, how you got into real estate, why you're still in real estate, and ultimately, you know, why customers would talk with you and use you as an agent.
Well, I've spent about 6 years working for home builders, for Westfield Homes, and another 2 for Richmond American Homes in marketing. And then the market sort of crashed, so I went to work in general real estate, and I found that I really enjoy working for people. Most of the time that I've spent in the corporate world before that was working for construction companies, project management firms and stuff. So I always tell clients I have a lot of dirt under my fingernails. Knowledge and skill in the construction industry in general, but in residential building as well.
And I bet that background probably helps you out a lot coming through the markets that we've come through, and then now to where, you know, the construction is really picking up around here. So that probably provides a wealth of resources for your customers.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I'm able to help them a lot with everything from details about construction to things to watch out for when they're buying or considering properties.
Very cool. So how long have you been in the Florida market here in the Tampa Bay area? How long have you been here for?
I am a native.
Aha.
My parents moved here in 1959. I grew up in St. Petersburg. I graduated from Northeast High School. Go Vikings. And then I went to school at USF. I graduated from USF.
Wow. Always in the area. Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, let's do this. Let's dive right in on our whole purpose of having you come in and the reason that we were so pumped at having you in. So you have a ton of information. What's going on with the inventory here, especially locally in the Tampa Bay area? What's going on?
Well, locally, we're talking about very low inventories. And in general, Florida in particular is very hot right now. About 2 weeks ago, I was at the Midwinter Conference for the National or Florida Realtors Association. And I went to a presentation of John Tuccillo, who is the chief economist for Florida Realtors. And we got some very interesting information, and one of the things that John pointed out is now officially a seller's market in Florida. Part of the reason for that is our inventory has reached a level where we're at about 5.5 months supply of homes, which is what's considered to be a balanced market.
No kidding.
So less than 6 months supply is 6 to 5 months is considered a balanced market. Right now we're about at 5.5, and it's the same thing pretty much here in the Bay Area as well.
I'm actually shocked that it's that much. You know, I drove around my neighborhood and a buddy of mine's neighborhood just yesterday, and it's a huge circle in a big community, and there was one house for sale. It's my buddy's, and it's not for sale. He's trying to rent it, and there was 0 houses on the circle that I live on. It's a pretty big circle, and I'm shocked that it's even that much, because it's just so much what we hear is there's just nothing out there.
And I think that that's a slight, I mean, you have to remember that 5.5 months, but you're talking about a mix of, it's single family homes, but also condos and townhomes. So it's a mix of properties, some which move a little more quickly than others.
Got it.
One of the things I think that any agent would tell you is what's happening is that a cleaner home that's in pretty good condition, that's at a good market price, or a house that it's a really maybe even a lower price, those homes get sold very quickly. But particularly the cleaner homes that are in pretty good shape, if they're at a good market price, they will be gone sometimes within just a few days.
It seems like what we're hearing now is the houses that are priced right, not necessarily a fire sale, but they're priced right, and the people are ready to sell, and they do the right thing with the agent up front and getting the house ready. It's almost like you put the house in the market, and by that weekend, you've got multiple offers coming in. And we're hearing it. I mean, we're losing a lot of buyers that we're not losing the buyers. They're just not getting their offers accepted because they're not offering a high enough price. And they're coming in at asking price. Yes. So it's almost going back to where we were in 05 and 06 in the markets here.
Yes, it is. It's become very competitive for the buyers. So that's why why Tuccillo is saying that we really are in a seller's market now.
Very interesting.
And it's, one of the interesting things I think is that buyers are not quite understanding yet, I think, what's happening. And so we need to demonstrate that for them. I know I pulled some reports recently showing folks how much people are paying for RIOs. And
RIOs being REOs,
bank-owned properties,
right?
And they assume that they're going to pay less than what the bank's asking, but the reality is they're selling for more.
Right. Yeah. So here's what I see is really cool on this topic is we have a lot of buyers that come through, and they don't quite get two big things. They don't get that. They kind of missed that rock bottom where they could determine what the value and what the price was going to be. And they come in and they think that they can still get a 3.25% interest rate on a 30-year fixed without any point. And it's like, well, you kind of missed that boat too. Now you're looking at rates in the high threes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple weeks we tick up to the 4% range and like everyone's going to freak out just at that number. But it's a matter of, we've been telling people this for a long time. And unfortunately, I think people like you, Lee, you come in and you're sitting there with the chief economist for Florida real estate agents and providing very concrete data. That guy doesn't really have an incentive to tell you whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. It is what it is. And so many buyers out there right now are sitting on the sidelines, are waiting for things to get back to those good old days of 4 and 5 and 6 months ago. And same thing, you have sellers not realizing now is the time to do this. And I think part of it is, a lot of people in our industry, both sides, on the mortgage and the real estate side, we've cried wolf for a little too long. Every time is a good time to buy and sell, and now's the time. And now you really look at pretty hardcore data, and man, it's a pretty good time to do this, Whether you're looking to buy or sell, there's still great deals out there. Yes. Because it seems like you wait to buy until next year, rates are going to be higher, and the pricing, it seems very realistic. It's going up,
The prices have already increased. I mean, the median home price in the Florida market in general, it's gone from year over year. The median sale price in December of 2011 was $135,000 for the state of Florida, and in December of 2012, it was $154,000. That's a 14% increase in median home price. That's for single-family homes.
Single-family homes in what area?
State.
That's state of Florida.
For the state, statewide, and but the Tampa Bay market does mirror roughly the same as far as price increase goes. Our median price increase here has gone up in the last 12 months from December to December 2011 to 2012. It went up about 11%.
Wow.
So there has been clearly there is a trend upward for sellers.
What do you think? I'm just throwing something random at you, but what do you think about this whole market in Florida? It was so red hot for so long. Prices went through the roof. So, of course, what goes up must come down. And so when it came down, obviously, it came down hard. What do you think about the people that are buying second homes here that are legitimately snowbirds or they're going to retire here? They come in and they hear this stuff and it sounds too good to be true. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we saw prices just plummet in our market. And now all of a sudden, it's kind of eerie where you see like 10% return year over year. In one count, are you kidding me? Like, is this a good sign or is it about, like, what do you think?
Well, and one of the other things that Tuccillo talked about, which is really interesting, is that some of the pressure on the prices has to do with this fairly large influx of investors. The most recent complete data that they have for the state of Florida, which goes back to just this past October, because it's always a few months behind to get complete total data, but it shows that 44% of sales closed were cash purchases.
In the state of Florida?
44% in the entire state of Florida, 44% were cash purchases, which is a very strong indicator that you've got a lot of investor activity. And there is some concern, and Tuccillo talked about this at the meeting too, and some of the other economic people that were there, and any broker or agent that you talk to, there is some concern that we're going to be looking at some issues with some of these communities where the investor activity is particularly heavy. And it's something for buyers to ask their agents to investigate for them. When they're considering buying in some communities where there is a lot of investor activity, chances are pretty good those are going to become rental units.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got a community that's made up more of renters than of owner occupants.
Right.
And that can cause some issues down the road for values. It is a problem that, I don't know how you can really address it, except as a buyer, you need to be aware of it.
Gotcha. So that's probably a question that is, and what we love is empowering and equipping the people that are listening right now. So as a buyer, that's probably something that they want to be asking their agents.
Yes. Yeah.
New question that they, it's like one more thing. We're actually working on putting together a checklist for buyers of, hey, you know what? Right now, first quarter 2013, here's some things that you might not know. You got to be asking these questions, and here's a great question. That's the first time I've heard that. And probably because I'm not talking to the Florida realtor economist, what great data. So what else has he got? What other standout comments or statistics did he have from your time with him?
These are some interesting things. Foreign buyers in the state of Florida make up about 19% of the total purchases that were made in the last 12 months. And
question on that.
Yes.
On foreign buyers, you don't have that broken down to what's South Florida, Miami area? Is there any data on that?
Oddly enough, Tampa Bay is probably following that trend pretty closely.
No kidding.
This area of the coast has, so I wouldn't be too surprised to find that and what I have heard from other people that are in the international market is that is a pretty common.
And that was 14%?
19%. 19%.
Wow. So 1 out of 5.
Yeah, basically, wow. Yeah. 1 out of 5 buyers is basically a foreign buyer.
What is amazing on that is right now there might be like 1 or 2 little banks here and there that'll do foreign buyers as far as financing, but that's cash deals. Yeah. So which makes sense because basically 44%. So let's say 4.5 out of 10 properties are cash deals would make sense because essentially 1 out of 5, 2 out of 10 of those deals are foreign buyers and they pretty much have to pay cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
That's true. Yeah. And
you love cash buyers though.
Well, sure. I love anybody that can close a deal.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's amazing information. This is some stuff. And how long ago was it that you had talked with him? That was earlier, in February?
This was just a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, the midwinter meetings for the Florida Realtors Association and some of the bigger councils like Women's Council and the Young Professionals and so on, they have a big meeting in January in Orlando area. And then we have another big annual meeting in the summer in August usually. And so twice a year, the Florida Realtors Association and their professional councils get together.
Now, do you go to this when they hold these? Do you go to this all the time?
Yeah, I try to be there. I stay for a couple days if I can, but sometimes business is too much. But
now, what do you say as far as is this something you plug into? Is the chief economist there? Is John going to be there again the next time you guys meet, or was that kind of like
Yeah, he probably will be. Yes, I certainly for the annual. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty great data. I mean, I'd love to have you come back and share some of this stuff next time you get some of this, just because this data right here, to me, numbers just don't lie.
It tells the story. You've got one of the most interesting graphs here, and people can get these reports. They'll be available. They can come to the FloridaRealEstateRadio.com website under Lee Lagueux, and you'll be able to download copies of the reports or request copies of these if you like to see market data, both for the Tampa Bay market and for the state of Florida. But it's very interesting to see these trends. I mean, you can see how month-to-month prices change through the year, but also from the years like 2008 to 2012. 2012, the shift that closed sales numbers have made, and it's very interesting. We now know, and one of the things about knowing the bottom of the market, you never know when the bottom of the market was until after you passed it.
Right.
And that's the way that works.
Yeah.
And 2008 was actually the lowest prices in Florida.
Huh. Very interesting. So, and we'll have that report that you're talking about posted underneath here as listeners are listening to this. It should be posted already right below this, so you can click on there. And there's just some great data. I mean, it's for people that are into numbers, it's there. For people that are into charts, it's there. For people that are visual and into graphs, it is there. And you know what? You can ignore it, but you would literally be sticking your head in the sand. It's pretty clear and clear cut there. So.
No doubt.
Well, we appreciate you so much coming in here and carving some time out in your schedule, Lee. We're kind of running out on time, but this was really fun and super informative. We got to have you come back.
Good. I'll be happy to come back.
Awesome.
Looking
Well,
forward to it.
great. Well, we will do that. Just appreciate you so much. Real quick, where can people reach you with any questions or whatnot? Cell phone, email, however you do that.
Well, my mobile number is 813-417-3842. Or they can reach me at lee@leesellsrealestate.com. That's what I do. And I'm on Facebook at Lee Lagueux Realtor, Future Home Realty.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you so much being in here with us today. And we appreciate you so much for listening out there to Florida Real Estate Radio, where you hear about what's relevant and where to find opportunities and solutions in Florida real estate right now. I'm your host, Brian Heckman, here with Lee Lagueux. Remember that we're all in this together, so let's grow together. Have a great afternoon.